So sorry, guys, for turning off. Then it's as a result of the situation we find ourselves in this country. There was a power outage, so I have no other option than to re-strategize. But now we are back online. So let's see what and what we can achieve before these guys will take away their power source once more. It's nice being with you today, and today we'll be looking at grammar. We'll be considering lexils and structure. So I want to apologize too for last previous class. We couldn't meet up still yet because of the same issues. So for the effort we are making in order to bring this live class and structure really mean, let me quickly tell you that in any English language examination you are sitting for, you can be able to say, oh, this question is a determiner, or you can be able to say, oh, this question is question on comparison. Let me tell you, if you cannot be able to tell what aspect or topic in English language that a given question is being taken from, believe me, you sincerely, you might not be able to answer that question. You're answering that question might most probably be by chance or by fortune, you might be able to get the correct answer to that question. So you see the importance of knowing which aspect any question comes from. In this connection, you should be able to say, oh, this question is from the aspect of Lexus, and this question is from the aspect of structure, or this question is from the aspect of Concord. So once you can be able to identify the topic from which that question is taken from, believe me, you will be able to get the answer to that question. Now, English, just like mathematics, physics, and chemistry, is all about rules. Now, when we talk about English language, we talk about two good aspects. When you talk about English language, English language is divided into two parts. And one of those parts, we talk about the lexis, and the other part is the structure. Now you get to know this because it's very, very important. Now, the lexis is aspect of English language. And under this lexis, you are going to see topics like synonyms, antonyms, similar in meaning, and so on and so forth. So it has to do with the aspect of English language. And when you talk to structure, structure has to do with the aspect of the language itself. And under structure, you see concord. And that is where you have collocation and more other topics. Now you see the lexis, you see the structure. These are the foundation of English language. Now, when you talk about the lexis makes up, come together to form the structure of the language. Now, I repeat, if you do not know if a question is lexis or structure, or you do not know what topic under lexis or what topic under structure that question is, then the answer can never be yours. Now, take this from me. It's very, very important you get to know this. The English language, or rather, its sentences and clauses are really based on a system of relationship between words. And once you cannot be able to tie these words, forget it. You can't be able to know the answers to that question. So, individuals of these words in the language are what we call the lexical. Able to break this, then we'll be making a serious headway. Now let's look at each of these words, these lexical items that are getting from. What do they really mean? Now, some of these lexical items are taken from words like, we talk about the lexical items, which is taken from the word go is another aspect of word which can stand for the verb. Now, in this aspect, we can still talk about somebody talking about something and he says sweetly, quickly on their own individual accounts. Now, I mean teacher, he, go, quickly, handsome, oh, under, and all these are what they are lexical items in their own lexical or individual account. Now, whenever you are talking about lexers in English language or in any examination situation, it refers to the test of any candidate under diction. So when you are being tested on lexers, you are being tested on diction, that is the appropriate use of words. And when you are being tested, you can be tested in any of these areas. One, in diction, that is the use of the appropriate use of words in every sentence or clauses. You can also be tested on semantics. Now, what are semantics? Semantics is the meaning of words in any sentences or clauses. You find such words. You can also be tested when it comes to lexers on opposite or words opposite to some given words. These are antonyms. We talk about words that are similar to words like them. These are synonyms. We talk about words that have similar sound to other words. These are homophones. This is collocation. We talk about words with more than one meaning, and that is polysemy. Now, when you look at all these forms, lexers, and when you go for any examination, you can be tested in any of these aspects of English language. So a Lexus test will involve aspects such as nearest in meaning to some given words. Now you see in some examination, they'll ask you to find the words that are nearest in meaning to a given word. All those things are tests on Lexus that you can be asked on. Another aspect which you can be asked on during your exams is to find words that are opposite in meaning to some given words. And the third aspect, you can be asked to find words that are most appropriate words or type to some given words question. Most appropriate words to some given words in a sentence or clause. So all these are aspects of lexers I want you to pay attention to as you take your JAMB UTME use of English language examination. Now, you have always been warned, and there is one thing I always tell my students. When you are looking at the meaning of any word, don't be deceived by the dictionary meaning of such words. Some people, as they prepare for English use of English language exams, they look at words in dictionary as the final meaning of such word. No. Take that as the meaning of such words, then you have to pay attention to the environment or the circumstances in which any given words find itself. Do you know that the circumstances in which any word find themselves can truly change their meaning, their dictionary meaning? So pay attention, and that is the oracle you just need. Whenever you are asked to find the meaning of any word, look at the environment that word finds itself, look at the circumstances in which that word is used, and from there, you can tell the meaning of that word. Now, as this live class goes on, as time goes on before your exam, I will teach you how to handle questions from a topic, word factory. Don't miss that topic. Under that topic, we'll be discussing the antonyms, the synonyms, the homophones, nearest in meaning, opposite in meaning, and most what appropriate word to replace a given word. So pay attention and follow us. Always pay attention to our live classes. And if you are not able to catch up with the live classes due to circumstances beyond you, then don't forget to watch the replay. From the replay, you can be able to catch up with all we did in the live class. So that topic is going to come up, and it's going to be a very interesting topic. I want you to pay much attention to. Now we've looked at Lexus, and I told you that Lexus is the aspect of English language, while structure has to do with the aspect of the language. And Lexus has to do with lexical items coming together to form a given structure of English word language. So all these are good example of lexical items. And once these items comes together, they form a structure that is the aspect of what of a language. Now, that's for Lexus. Now, when we talk about structure, what do you think is structure? Now, structure refers to definite established relationship of what of rules of a language. Now, every language has its own structure because they have definite and established rules that govern established rules that guide the formation of words in order to make such sentence or such combination of word meaningful is exactly what structure is. And that's why we define structure as the aspect of the language itself. So in a nutshell, I can say structure refers to the definite established rule of a language for combination of words in that language to form meaningful utterances. Now, when we bring all these lexical items in such a way that we follow the rules that are set down for them and we use them to form a given, a meaningful sentence, that is structure. Now, in this case, words are put together in orderly ways in order to form a clause or a given sentence. So a test of structure in any examination is an attempt of the examiner to determine if you truly know the rules for combining lexical items or lexical words. Pay attention, and that is the trick. Now, if you can know the rules for combining lexical items or lexical words without striking an error, then that is exactly what the examiner wants you to know. Now, look at all these lexical items. How can I combine teacher, the noun, the pronoun, the verbs, the adverbs, the adjective, the interjection, prepositions, and the conjunction in such a way that I can form a meaningful sentence? That is where structure comes in. Now let's look at a very good example, and then you see what we talk about. So when we talk about structure, we talk about the application of rules in English language in order to form a meaningful word utterance or a combination of such lexical items or words in order to form a meaningful structure of English. So a structure question is one like this. Many, a dash, and dash have. Now look at this sentence very well. You have come to see that we have many, a dash and dash have. Now, the A part of this question, we are giving the option students, many a student, or no, many a student know her. In the other option, we are giving students, we are giving student or knows. In the third option, we are giving students or no. And in the fourth option, we are giving students or knows. Now, pay attention to this option. If you are given this question and you are asked to find the answer to this question, what would be your answer? Now, This is exactly a question under Concord. And if you don't know the topic in which this question is taken from, you might not be able to tell the answer. Now, what rule do we need to apply in order to find the answers to this question? If this is an exam question, which option will you choose? Tell me, will you choose option A? Will you choose option B? Will you choose option C or option D? I want you to keep your answer for now. We will discuss this in our subsequent class, and then you will now see how applying rules is very important in combining words in order to form meaningful sentences. Now, note, in answering questions like this, there is what we call a universal rule that is known all over the world in language circles for resolving a question like this. Now, take note of this question. I'm going to also give you another question. Another question like this is this. In this question, we are told that he regretted that he had only dash information about her. About her when we asked about her whereabouts from him. When we asked about her whereabouts from him. What a long sentence. So you see, he regretted that he had only dash information about her when we asked about her whereabouts from him. Her whereabouts from him. Now, the first option is a little. The second option is little. The third option is some. And the fourth option, option D, is a few. Now, if you are in an examination hall, which option will you choose? As said before, the first step is to determine what topic the question comes from. This is not a topic under Concord. So what topic is this question from, and how can we solve this question? This is the aspect I want you to look at. If you are given this question in an examination hall, what will be your answer to this question? Now, I want you to think about this question, and in our next class, we're going to look at how to determine topics that any question comes in. Remember, at the beginning of this class, I told you that if you cannot be able to tell perfectly where a question comes from or the topic in which a question comes from, you might not be able to answer that question perfectly. So in our next class, I'm going to tell you how to determine topics in which a question comes from. Now, I want you to look at these two questions. Think about these two questions perfectly. We are going to come back to this question as we go ahead in our discussion. As I prepare you for your English language test, use of English language test as your JAMB examination comes closer. Think about these two questions, and in our subsequent class, I'll remind you of these two questions, and then we'll find a perfect solution to it. By then, we'll be treating the topic in which these questions are from. In our class today, we have come to see what actual lectures are, and we've also come to see what structure are. So whenever you are asked in any examination, what is lectures? You already know what lectures are. Lectures are just the aspect of English language, while structure is the aspect of the language itself, the rules governing the formation of the language itself. Now, lectures sorry, lessons can be lexical items coming together where we have the nouns, we have the proverbs, we have the pronouns, we have the adverbs, we have the adjectives, we have the connotations, we have the conjunctions, we have the prepositions coming together. And all these have they stand on their own individual word account. They are all lexical items or lexes. Now, structure is the rules that guides the combination of such words in order to form meaningful utterances. Now, if you don't know such rules, answering such questions correctly might be a serious trick and might give you a serious problem. So, this is the aspect we are going to discuss in our next class. Don't miss that class. As we prepare for your examination, I'm going to make things faster. In case we have classes and due to power failure, we could not be able to have, or we cannot be able to have such classes, I'll see the need of having such classes maybe at night between 10 and 12, where I can make provisions for generator in order to go live like this. In our next class, don't forget, we are going to discuss how to determine topics in which any question in the use of English are being taken. If you really enjoyed this class, don't forget to share this class with your friends. Remind them of the need of joining us in our next live class. And don't forget to give us your super thanks. We truly appreciate your support. This is one way you support us so that we can see one or two ways of taking care of other expenses that can help us give out this class to you so that you can also continue to enjoy this class. I know you did benefit a lot from this class. Don't forget to share it with friends and colleagues. And I look forward to seeing you in our next class. Thanks so much for watching, and bye-bye for now.